We live. Welcome to the SA Pulse, the pulse of the nation. I am your host, Upol Nugu Kapadia General, the two-striped man with the medal on top, Vorna. Welcome to the pulse of the nation. Estrateni, touchline. That's where we are at. That's where we are. We're keeping our ears on the ground and we're also keeping our finger on the pulse. Today we are speaking about a very controversial scandal, which is Phala Phala. It has been making headlines across the nation and it has been the center of allegations of misconduct involving our president, Honorable Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, and a controversial incident. There's this game farm. His game farm is known as Phala Phala. That's why it's called a Phala Phala case. So, what exactly happened? Well, the story dates back in 2020 when a large sum of money or like cash was stolen from the farm. The issue gained, attention because it was allegedly that the president now who owns the farm may be involved in trying to cover up the theft of failing to report its property. And this scandal has sparked widespread public debate about integrity, accountability, and leadership in South Africa. Several opposition parties and civil society groups have called on for an investigation to go, hey, Baba, this person must account because we need to understand what happened and it raised concern about corruption at the highest level of government. And you must understand now, this is the number one citizen and he's found of misconduct or allegations of improper abuse of possibly the money or possibly even the state resources, because now at the end of the day, I think he had his own people also investigating this particular case, and then some things went wrong within the case. People got beaten, apparently some were unalive, if I'm not mistakenly, and some of them were captured, and there is very ongoing cases now. We are speaking about that. I don't know, possibly one is to get the facts correct so that they can follow the case to say, is that case over yet? And if you know information about that case, just tag us to understand if that case is still on or it's pending or investigations are still carrying on. But anyway, in response to the mounting pressure, the President Cyril Ramaphosa yesterday announced that he will not step down, but he will take this matter to the higher court. The move aims to seek clarity on these illegal resolutions over the allegation, asserting that he has acted with law and claims that he is innocent and this is politically motivated. We would understand when now politics is a dirty game as well. So these people now will go to the highest end to remove or to put up a score, if I'm not mistakenly, in some matters. So any mistake that you make as a politician, as somebody who's in the forefront, sometimes you must be careful where you step. So now I think our president is claiming that this is politically motivated. Now, taking a matter to the High Court is a significant step. As we are speaking, is a significant step for the president because it's confident that the judiciary can fairly assess the fact and uphold the rule of law. It also reflects the seriousness in which, he views this allegation and his desire to clear his name. Legal experts suggest that this case could have far richness in terms of implication. It is not only a test of strength of the South African legal system, but also the resilience of national leadership. And obviously, these allegations of corruption, because he's the forefront man. So if he is going, I'll be the first guy also to be crucified because I am the guy now who findeth himself in this particular position because there's maladministration, there is also corruption now involved, there is also state resources that are involved, and we might see at this point in time where would our president land with such a case. So the case unfolds and South Africans are observing, and obviously the worldwide is observing, though at this particular point in time they might be shaken because the investors now are going, hey, this president, is he reliable? Can we rely on this particular person, because now there is a blanket now that is overshadowing his leadership. So he will have to clear his name as soon as possible. And if the world is watching closely, and we might find ourselves in a space where we have to understand, what would the president now at this particular point in time do? We understand possibly he will tell us it's not his money, not like it's his money from the buffaloes, because one of the reasoning he told us as a nation at some particular point in his life was this was money he used, or this is the money he got from selling his buffaloes or running an auction in his farm. That needs to be clear. Will the legal battle clarifies the truth? Will it set the presiding officer accountable? I mean, would it hold this officer who is in the highest office to accountable? We will tell, and we must trust our judiciary at this time, because it has to uphold the law. And as they speak, and at this particular point in time when he came out yesterday, he came out as a very mandated people from us. So we the people mandated the guy to be able to uphold the constitution, to be able to protect and guide us as a nation. So yesterday he came back and affirmed that to us, to say we are the one that chose him. We are the one that said we have all the trust in him. So that's why he's not stepping back. He's not stepping back because we as the people want him to continue as our president. That's what he said yesterday. We will see the reflections today and the days to come about the opposition parties. How are they feeling? And one of the opposition parties, which was EFF, came out and said, there is a problem now. He has to be impeached. And at this particular moment, what has happened is that if this now High Court takes time to deliberate on the matter, the parliament doesn't have a choice but to wait. So they can't impeach the guy. They have to wait. So now in the waiting, does it wait with a mandate of impeaching the president, on their hand, or do they wait for the High Court? So now it's a bit also tricky, because you must also understand, he didn't just come yesterday, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, to be able to just say whatever he said. He calculated each and every move. He knew and he understood what he was doing, and he knew what he was saying at this particular moment in time, for us as a people to understand where he's at and where he's taking it. Firstly, he spoke about, I'm going to review the Constitutional Court's decision. And after reviewing the Constitutional Court's decision, I will take it to High Court, and the High Court will review it and will come back with clarity if the law was broken or not. So now, for me, my views, and I'm throwing it out there, if the Constitutional Court of South Africa has found a particular document improper, does the High Court, constructing touchline, can you explain that to us in the comment there? Who's higher? Is it the High Court or the Constitutional Court? So if I have the matter at the Constitutional Court, the highest court of the land, I can still take the matter to to the High Court, yes, constitutionally and otherwise, because we are in South Africa, there's too many laws and there's too many bypass laws. And I feel like at this particular point in time, the law is just weaponized. At this particular point in time, our laws is weaponized. Our constitution, it's even worse. People can just roll their dice with our constitution, and they can weaponize it and use it against us. And we look at the constitution and we go, oh, yes, it says it. Yo. So I just wanna know, from maybe law students, or maybe from experts from law, who can just clarify to say, baba, uyilahlile manje estrateni, ithi sikubuyise nganeno ngoba siyazi nina estrateni nokulahla umlilo. Athi sikubambele yona ke mfana semzini. Mawuthi High Court, this is the highest court of the land, blah blah blah, according to Constitution 2B 3B, this is what it means. And in the Constitutional Court from the Constitution of 346 of 1996, this is what it means, so that you can unpack it down for us so that we can understand clearly what exactly is the difference and which court is higher, the higher Havela court or the Constitutional Court. Or the Constitutional Court deals with something else, and then the higher court deals with something else. And if the higher court is dealing with criminal cases and the Constitutional Court is dealing with human rights, I mean, okay, dizzy now. Let's clarify something for me, Yiso. So if the Constitutional Court deals with human rights, and then the High Court deals with criminal justice, it means we are sitting in a space where we have a criminal case at hand. Not a human rights kind of like a case. Because a human right case would mean it's his right to go and find his things. Yeah, Vele Nam, I'll go and find my things, And yesterday I was expecting Vele, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, to say, bafethu niya understand, ngilahlekelwe izinto and mina mangilahlekele izinto, obviously ngizoyenza konke okusemandleni wami ukuthola lezo zinto lezo. So we all have that kind of human nature. If you lose a thing, you would do everything you can to find that thing. And as a human being, we should be allowed, to make such mistakes. But we should do it in line with the law, in line with, the rightful. I think it's ethical, this thing, and when we put it in practice, and like it's just how this was done. And also the people who stole. No. How can you bloody steal from the president? Like let's be whoa like whoa. Yeah, ngiyabona siyarezina and vele nami ngiyarezina vele but whoa. Right, kahle, like right. Who steals from the, like Skokosami or whoever that orchestrated this particular plan from whoever, like kahle bafethu ni grand na kahle like sho ni top na, die upstairs da kushiyekanga fokol nyana or bakwisile usasencosi or scroof nyana. Because another thing, if it was us, and I'm not being biased and I'm being problematic with the statement that I'm landing now, to say if it was us, the people who knew, people from here, we would never have attached that thing. We would have exposed the guy. Tina, we would have done that if we were the people who were working in those perimeters of vicinities, or we were working Phala Phala. Go strating, touchline, some expose some gwenya. Or kahle some truth. Sichaka kancane baba wami. Sichaka kancane ngaboni baba wami. Sichaka kancane. Yes. Skotonyana. Yes. Skotonyana. Amaknamapate kuna nix. But now because of, you understand who stole that money, and you understand who orchestrated that thing for these guys to, for this guy to lose his money. You would understand, because if he had hired also our own people, this would have never happened. So he decided to, obviously it's because of time, life, and I can assure you that I'm not saying it was not okay for him. Also, we are all looking for work. We all need to feed our families. Whatever works, and I'm gonna be held accountable for what I'm saying. I know, and what I'm saying is, if it were South Africans, they would have, I'm sure some truth. I'm sure yo kancane sifika njengamagundwane mfana semzini nditweba remucutha kanyane, the chicken must be cuthed sifaka amanzi ashisayo simshangaboni baba wami, siyazi ukuthi usipana kanjani, siyazi umuntu onjani, futhi naye makasmayilile siyamtshela ukuthi engwena sibona ipackage lapha yana, futhi ke siyayitwista sakushana ngeblackmail mfana semzini sibone something da, and amayilale ngesiyibonile lapha na engwenya. If I was doubling, if I was doubling, oh, touchline, constructing, sipping. So you understand how this dynamics have worked. So we just want to see if Mr. President, the highest man who holds the highest office of our land, please do the right thing. Make sure that at least uyaqoqa into zakho within this few nyana months wenza zonke izinto grand khona uzoba grand, because now eish, oh, God bless the ANC and like, yeah, well, living the God of our ancestors and like, hey, yeah, Buffett. I wouldn't want to buy, I wouldn't be, wanting to be an elder of the ANC or the NEC or the top six at this particular moment in time, dot. I'm sure Paul Bashatile, dot, angimazi wenzani my brother, dot, nakhona mfowethu ke Mr. Deputy President ke ngishubile no. I'm sure quite ke na utaka ngiphumile mina retire man. Ayi uRazmataz. Razmataz uthini ngwenya kuhambani uthini usitshelana estradeni thina what are you telling us on the street touchline, our finger is on the pulse, what's going on? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today. It's like, stay tuned for up more about the Phala Phala case. We will follow it and other development in the South African politics. Don't forget, Buffet, to subscribe, leave a review, share, comment, share the episode with your friends, and you know what we do in the streets, Buffet. We gotta eat, we gotta eat, we gotta do whatever we gotta do, whatever we gotta do just for us to eat, man. You know what it is. Hey, before I leave, JS. Who's JS? Before I leave, who's JS? Let's try to find out who's JS. Okay. Some breaking news now. JS by Mr. Ferrari. If you know who I'm speaking about, you know who I'm speaking about. If you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. And like, Mr. Ferrari has been arrested in Mpumalanga, Vandag, and he's also part of some Madlanga investigation. And once upon a time, there in the Madlanga, General Sibiya mentioned JS in his particular WhatsApp or whatnot. Mr. Ferrari Lapanusibayuni was HIV and like, and I understand where we find ourselves in this particular point in time with the cartels and a lot of people getting arrested. And Cyril yesterday came to speak ka past 20 past 8. The guy was arrested between 8 and that's my conspiracy theory. Let me just salute and leave. But no, there are people that are going down, and we need to be there to understand breaking news, because they're not remote thing, touchline. We understand. We're putting our finger on the pulse. We have to know, we have to understand what's the jigs, what's the chat, what's the story. Salute, subscribe, share it with your friend. Naganjan, aluta, continua.